How do you survive your crushing season? What is your crushing season teaching you? What lesson are you learning from your crushing season? It doesn't mean you're dying. It doesn't mean that the world is over. They faced a lot of challenges. They faced a lot of problems. Gold have to be burnt to be able to produce a good one. A diamond have to go through a lot of fire for it to become a diamond. Will put you in there. Get the lesson that was learned from the crushing. Do not forget, because you end up going back round in circle. The audacity to fight it, the audacity to open your eyes, the audacity to actually seek for the cure. What is the cure to my problem? Do not forget what the wilderness taught you. Hello everyone, Happy New Year. It's your girl Adora Good again. I will really want to apologize for not being here for a while. It's because sometimes you go into your wilderness, or sometimes you just need to disappear and reappear for good and for better. But anyway, how are we all doing? How was your Christmas, New Year? I hope we're all doing well. Well, not to waste your time, today we'll be discussing about crushing. What is crushing? What do you do with your crushing season? This is loaded. Sometimes you go into wilderness where, imagine a wilderness is where it's just an empty place, like being in the desert, nothing fruitful. Sometimes you go into your wilderness because you just want to find answers, just because you're dealing with things, just because there's some issues bothering you, just because there's some things chasing you. So you go into wilderness just to find answers. But this crushing or wilderness, sometimes it overwhelms people. What do you do? The problem is not the wilderness. The problem is not the crushing. The problem is, what do you do with your crushing season? How do you survive your crushing season? What is your crushing season teaching you? What lesson are you learning from your crushing season? Some people use crushing season to get better. Some people use crushing season to become who God have destined them to become. Sometimes some people use crushing season to find out their goals. Some people use crushing seasons to find out their calling. So now, crushing is a problem. Crushing is situations. Crushing is things that we deal with. The issue, I'm not going to be discussing the actual problem, but I will be discussing more of what do you do during this crushing period. I'll give you an example. During the pandemic, everybody was suffering. Everybody was suffering from isolation, from not meeting people. Everybody felt it. You have to stay home. You have to social distancing. You have to be in this box in your home where you don't go to anybody. But now some people died out of the pandemic and some people survived. Then some people, they were not really thinking about the pandemic. They were not really thinking about the COVID itself. But some people were busy trying to figure out, so how do you cure COVID? A lot of people, companies in the world, they were busy trying to figure out what medication is best for COVID. If we can't find the best suitable medication, how do we curb it? How do we stop it from spreading? Some people suggested social distancing, which works. Some people suggested sanitizing your hands, sanitizing everywhere. That worked to some extent. How do you control somebody sneezing and you inhale it, then you get the disease? Some people were busy trying to figure out what medication is best for COVID, even though they were still not able to find a cure for COVID, but at least they are able to find something that curbed it. Even though it's still in the system, but then it opened their eyes, it opened the pharmacists their eyes, it opened a lot of people's eyes to figure out what caused it, where did it come from. Some people researched. So now, during your crushing period, are you supposed to research what the problem is to find out how to curb it? Or are you busy being overwhelmed by the problem? Because why people die out of problems and situation is because they allow the situation to overcome them. They allow the situation to overwhelm them. They allow the problem to take over them. Then some people, they close their eyes. So when they close their eyes, then the problems start eating them up. No. During your wilderness time is the time to open your eyes. It's the time to really want to see what is causing this problem. Is there something that is wrong? Is there something that I have to do? Is there something? It's time for research. It's time to do better. It's time to evaluate. It's time to readjust. Some people, like, a season like this in January, a lot of Christians, not even just Christians, a lot of people, they use January to reevaluate. Some people have a New Year resolution. Some people say this year I'm no longer going to smoke. Some people stop some characters. Some people use some time, take some time out social media just to reevaluate, just to find out, figure out what they've done wrong last year, what they need to do better. Some people start chasing. Some people actually start chasing from the beginning of the year. And some people, problems hit them. And when problem hits you, what do? I want to encourage you. It's time to find out what is it that you have to do to stop what is going on in your life. What is it? What lesson are you trying, the problem is teaching you? You have to find out what is it that God wants you to know. What is it that God wants to make you aware of? Because when we don't go through situations, you don't figure out or find out things in your surroundings. But during your problem season, during your crushing season, it's time to sit back and you have to open your eyes and you have to think and you have to try to find out. Then you have to try and make a move. You have to try and meditate. You have to try and find out sources. You have to try and find out the cure. Some things we don't have answers to them. Some things happen for reason. Almost everything happens for a reason. And when things happen you have no control over, what do? You go back, you sit back, you evaluate, you reevaluate, you think, you adjust, you try to find a balance. But when we allow the problem to overwhelm us, when we allow the problem to eat us up, when we allow the problem to put us into depression or cause us sickness, then you're on another level. But this is a new year. I want to encourage you that during every crushing period, it doesn't mean that you have to die. It doesn't mean you're dying. It doesn't mean that the world is over. It doesn't mean that there will never be life. There's life after problems. If you check people who have made it, they've faced a lot of challenges. They've faced a lot of problems. Gold have to be burnt to be able to produce a good one. A diamond have to go through a lot of fire for it to become a diamond. So nothing comes easy and nothing just goes like that. You have to go through it. It's called life. And when life happens, there's nothing you can do. There's absolutely nothing you can do. All you have to do is to sit back, readjust, open your eyes and find out. Some people is their calling. You have to find out what is my calling. Because if you're somebody who everybody keep giving. By the time nobody wants to give you, you now need to sit back and find out, oh, what is it that they're doing that I cannot do? Then you start helping yourself. But instead of becoming angry or allowing the fact you've been rejected to overwhelm you, then you now become bitter, you now have unforgiveness, then it start causing you problem, you start sinning against God and against yourself. So that's why you have to open your eyes and reevaluate. Awaken your spirit and open your eyes, because studying the problem will now make you to find out the cure. It will help you to know how to go about the issue. But crushing will put you in there. When crushing happens, it makes you to forsake the old thing and introduce new stuff. It makes you to introduce new things. If what has happened to you is caused by a particular thing, then you have to drop that one and reintroduce something new. So crushing helps you to reintroduce something new to make things better. So crushing sometimes is not to kill you, like I said. The power of wilderness or the power of crushing makes you to know what you want to do or what you're doing, so it can take you to the next level. It makes you focus and desperate in what you're in. With that, you'll be able to know how to produce good results. Sometimes we'll be asking God to show up in our situations. We'll be asking God to show us what to do, what not to do. You'll be asking a lot of things from God. But when you have to go through some things to show you what is actually behind you, then some people, their eyes will be closed and they'll go weary. It's not time to be weary. Use this year 2023 to make it a point of duty, time to open your eyes, so that you will make a difference, so that you will produce, so that whatever that you are in will not overwhelm you, but rather it will bring different. It will make different. It will make a difference, and it will produce good results at the end. I've been in the wilderness for some time. I've been in the wilderness for months, weeks. When everybody sees you, everybody feels your life is good, everything is rosy, it's all well with you. But sometimes people go through a lot of things, and sometimes it's about coming out on the other side. You don't allow everybody have one thing that they are facing. Some people are facing their children, some people are facing their marriage, some people are facing their home, some people are facing poverty, some people are facing a lot of things. Some people are facing a lot of challenges, relationships. So there's so many things people are facing. Some people are facing difficulties in a lot of things. I happen to be opportune to speak to some women. I happen to be opportune to talk to a lot of women. I happen to be opportune to advise a lot of women. And so I call it grace, and it's not by my power, but I think that's the area of my calling which I've figured out. And I'm always happy to advise. I'm always happy to say, okay, let's ask questions. What is the solution? The solution to the problem. I might not really solve the problem, but at least we can both, two is better than one, so we can both come together and we can think and we evaluate to find out, okay, what is the best option for the problem, and we'll start taking it from there. Another thing I would like to advise is that sometimes after coming out of the wilderness or after coming out of the crushing, we get so excited. But I want to remind you, do not forget what the wilderness taught you. Do not forget what the crushing taught you. Do not forget what the problem taught you. Do not forget that thing showed you way. Do not forget that it was through the problem that made you to go out there to seek for help and get a cure. So don't forget the lesson that was learned from the crushing. Do not forget, because you end up going back around in circle. If you forget the lesson that you learned from the crushing, then you're going to end up going back around in circle. And another area I would like to discuss is that during our crushing periods, the reason we fight crushing, or the reason we fight wilderness, we try to fight during our wilderness season, is because some things that happens to us end up going round and round. Some people are still facing the issues that was caused by our grandparents. Some people are still facing issues that of things that they knew nothing about. Some people are still fighting issues of things that they inherited. You have to ask God the audacity to fight it, the audacity to open your eyes, the audacity to actually seek for the cure. What is the cure to my problem? What is the cure to what the issues are? And you will see God will be there. But most importantly, do not forget what the wilderness taught you. And during your wilderness season is a time to open your eyes. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again in my next video. If you haven't subscribed, please do subscribe. Please subscribe. Share this video and give a thumbs up if you like it. And if there's any topic you want me to do for the year, then I am ready to give it to you. And I'll see you again in our legal matters or life experience. Thank you so much. Love you. Mwah.